This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by Aweber. Aweber is the easy way to start doing your email marketing, as well as building your list and growing your business. If you want to start doing email marketing today, then head on over to raythevideoguy.com/Aweber, and you can get started for as little as $1. And on today's episode, we've got a special guest. We've got Nick Nimmin on the line, and he's going to talk a little bit about how he uses YouTube for his marketing. Should be fun.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.
It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. Got a question for Ray the Video Guy? Go to raythevideoguy.com/ask. Leave your question. If Ray answers it on Periscope or here on the show, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff. Now, Ray is still trying to get back from vacation, so we're going to skip that this week, but we'll have an Ask Ray next week. How about that? And then if you like our Facebook page, the handle's Video Marketing Madness, or if you follow us on Twitter, it's Video MKT Madness. You'll get plenty of useful tips, all kinds of great info in there, and a little hint. If it's not showing up in your news feed on Facebook, just head on over to the page and like a few stories. And now, you know him, you love him. Here he is, Ray the Video Guy.
That's right. Back from the vacation, as you mentioned. It's been a little crazy getting back in here, and we're starting to have a little bit of fun here. We're starting to get things back into order, so should be a good time coming up. And Steve, I know we don't have any official news of the week this week, but there's certainly some things coming down the pike, aren't there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And what are those things, Ray?
Well, we've got some news. We're not going to break too much of it here, but Steve and I are working on a new project that's going to kind of change the way that we do podcasting a little bit. And you'll hear more about that in a few weeks, but we should have some really cool news coming up very shortly.
Yeah, we're working diligently on it, and our vendor partner is helping us quite a bit, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about it.
I am too. I think people will love it, and you won't have to just listen to our voices all the time.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
Is, even better.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be up and operating next week. I say operating with a little bit of hesitation because we got to test it and learn it and all that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So
it should be some exciting stuff. Well, and in honor of this, I don't know if it sounds any different, but I went and picked up a few toys. One of which is a new radio microphone, which is kind of slick here. I don't know if I sound any better or worse.
Yeah, you sound like Ray the Video Guy.
Well, that's not good because this one cost a lot more than the one I was using.
I don't hear your dog barking in the background.
Well, that's because he's being quiet right now.
So. Oh, okay. Now, did you?
But
did you put that?
It's funny.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's funny. Not knowing a whole lot about this, and for those of you that have listened for a while, you know that I went and actually interned at a podcasting studio for a while just to kind of learn some of the equipment, and so I bought some of the equipment that they had. But I went to Guitar Center of all places because they sell a lot of this stuff, and they told me what I needed, and they put the package together, and then I went to buy the stuff, and they said, "Oh, well, we don't actually have it."
That's right.
So they gave me the list, and they said, "Well, we can order it, but it's going to take about 2 weeks to come in." I'm like, 2 weeks? I said, "I can order it on Amazon and have it tomorrow." So I took their list and I ordered the stuff on Amazon, and come to find out they were somewhat wrong on their list of what was needed. So we're having a few little issues because the interface they sold me does not provide enough power for this particular microphone.
Oh.
So, a lot of fun, but it seems like in some applications it's fine. In Skype, it seems to be perfectly fine, but when I record a voiceover, seems a little on the weak side, so I have to boost it afterwards.
You need some
But,
kind of booster, or yeah.
yeah, something like that. Apparently, the one that I got just doesn't provide that extra boost. But I do have what's called a DBX attached to this, which I'm still trying to figure out. But that helps a little bit.
Now, what's a DBX?
DBX is it's well, in this particular case, it's mostly a gate.
Yeah.
Is the one that I have.
Yeah. Okay.
A gate being a noise canceller. So it, in other words, if I set it up properly and if I snap my fingers here, you can hear that. But if I set the gate right and I snap my fingers over here, you shouldn't hear that. But you probably do.
Yeah, I do a little bit, but I can tell you got a gate on it. Now, what kind of microphone do you have?
It's an Electro Voice RE20.
Yeah. Okay, I'm familiar with that. Well, I'm an old radio guy, and
and that's what this is. This is a radio studio microphone.
I think we had one of those at one of the stations I worked at, and of course I managed a small recording studio when I was in college. So, I mean, it was a small recording studio, but I was still the manager of it, so I learned quite a bit there. It was all analog, which is a lot different, but anyhow, it's fun, it's cool, and we're excited about this podcasting thing.
Yeah, and it looks cool too because it looks like a real microphone, and it's on a little swinging arm. So it looks really, yeah.
Well, next week we'll be doing a hangout with the show. Since we have a guest, since we have Nick this week, we're not doing a live hangout because it's just more of a pain than it's worth. But we'll be able to show your little studio setup next week. How's that?
Very cool. That should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that.
So, Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on here because it's always fun. We've kind of gotten away a little bit from doing all the interviews that we used to do, and I want to start getting back into interviewing the right people. And what I mean by that is, we started to interview a lot of small business owners that we didn't know versus a lot of the guys that we do know who are doing more specific things to this audience. So we're glad for you to be our first new guest I guess Tommy might have been the first one under the new format, but that was a few weeks back. But you're one of the very few since we've kind of changed the format a little bit. So welcome
That's cool.
to that club.
That's cool. I feel honored.
Fireman Mike was on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. I guess you're the third.
I just got bumped to number 3.
Yeah, number 3. But that's okay. And what we decided to do, Nick, instead of just getting anybody we could find, like going out in the street and saying you want to be on our radio show, and then they'd come on, and it didn't work sometimes. We decided to have Ray do tips every week, and then when we could find a good guest, bring him in. But we don't necessarily have to have a guest every week. So,
Gotcha.
Exactly.
If we got somebody that can contribute something, then the pressure's on you now, Nick. You got to contribute something.
Right.
Yeah, but
now I'm sweating.
Yeah. Well, I understand Ray's going to talk to you about how you use YouTube for your business, kind of a case study.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nick, why don't we start off? Keep this easy.
At least Nick didn't say, "Well, that was news to me."
Yeah. What? I don't use YouTube.
Yeah, but this whole thing's kind of on the fly right now.
That's okay.
So,
that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, that's the best
great.
kind of interview,
Absolutely.
That's what we do. Somebody one time asked me, "Can you send me a list of questions?" And I just laughed.
So, Nick, the first thing I want to kind of ask you is, first of all, introduce yourself to everybody here. So in case anybody doesn't know who you are, if they're not on the message boards to see you in there all the time, so they kind of understand who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Nick. I'm a graphic designer by trade. I also make videos for YouTube, and I do a little bit of product launching and a little bit of email marketing. But my passion is more on the video side of things, but my necessity is more on the design side of things as far as my bread and butter is concerned.
Nice. And for everybody out there, you may even have some of Nick's products already and not even realize it because he has produced some very cool stuff that we have told you about in the past, one of which I use quite a bit, actually.
Which one is that?
That was the last one that you did with Bertram.
Okay.
Which,
We had the social graphics kit that was the last one, and then the YouTube graphics toolkit that was before that.
Yeah, it was the social one that had a little bit of everything in it.
Oh, okay, nice, nice, nice,
And of
awesome.
course, we've actually promoted both, but that's the one that I really enjoyed that one, and
Cool,
I know
cool.
a lot
Thank
of
you.
people. So, but yes, very good, very good designer. I love the stuff you did in that one, and you know, many of my sites actually have those graphics in them now. So,
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
but
That's good.
so
That's
let
what
me
that
ask you
stuff's for,
this:
right?
what's that?
I said that's great. That's what that stuff's for, right?
Absolutely, and it very easy to edit, very easy to get into and use. So we've loved that quite a bit. Well, let me
Great.
ask you this: tell us a little bit about. Now, you said that video is kind of becoming more of your passion.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why that is, and what you mean by that when you say it's your passion.
Well, to start, I would say that with the design side of things, again, because that is my bread and butter, that's more of something that I have to do. With
Yeah.
the video, I started making the YouTube videos. I have two channels right now. I have one that is my youtube.com/Nick Nimmin, and another one that I recently started that is youtube.com/all our questions. And the Nick Nimmin channel I initially started to, more on the marketing side of things to kind of help people make better videos and, how to keep videos entertaining and that sort of thing. And from that channel, I also built a membership area where people can get free graphics and things like that to use inside of their videos or in their marketing efforts and how-to guides and things like that. And through that, I collect emails from that, and I send out mailers from time to time, of products that you know that I like or things that I think that those people will find useful. But for that channel, that started as more of a marketing idea, right? And as I uh, made every new video, I just started having more and more fun with it. And as that proceeded, I actually got contacted by Daryl Eves, which both of you guys are familiar with, and
Quite.
he suggested, yeah, he
Ne-
suggested that I do
Who?
a
Who?
Daryl Eves.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, right, right.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he suggested that I do a different type of channel so that I could reach a different type of audience for the type of content that I was putting out. And he has pretty much walked me through the process that he uses with his clients to, start up a new channel and start to get a following and things like that. And once I started working on that channel, I've been kind of cuckoo about it, to where uh, I'm to the point that I'm almost obsessed, and I'm taking time away from my design work, and I'm just pretty much going full steam into that. So, which I'm not 100% sure yet if that's even the best idea, but I'm having a blast doing it. So, I guess that's what's the most important.
Well, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but back a while ago, I kind of did the same thing that you did, which was kind of broke away from the what I thought was the bread and butter to kind of pursue the things I liked better, and started to focus on that. And it's amazing because just that change of focus and really putting the time into it has turned that into far more of a business than what I thought my bread and butter was.
Yeah. And I'm sure you get a lot more out of it as far as just, when you wake up every day,
Oh,
just how
absolutely.
you feel about it and how you feel about what you're doing and the people that you're reaching and, the information that you're sharing with everybody
Yeah,
and the
I
feedback that you're getting.
completely agree.
You get amazing feedback. I'm in some of your Facebook groups, and, you get amazing feedback on, pretty much everything that you do. So I'm sure, that has a huge impact on how much you're enjoying what it is that you're doing as well,
Yeah, it,
because
it
you're helping a
definitely
lot of
does,
people.
and
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. And for those of you just joining us, we are here with Nick Nimmin, the graphic design and YouTube expert, who's been growing his YouTube channels with the help of our good buddy Daryl Eves. So that's a fun thing.
So the second channel, the first one is Nick Nimmin,
Yes.
and you dispense advice and you build a list off of it. Okay.
Yes.
So tell us about the second channel. What's the it's a YouTube channel. What's the handle? What are you doing there?
Yeah, the second channel is all our questions. And the whole idea behind it is I basically search the internet for questions that everybody wants answers to, and I answer them with real data. It's not like a vlog to where I sit there and I just tell people what I think. I research each topic and I give people useful information that they can apply to, whatever the topic happens to be. Like the last one that I did, for example, was things that you can do to stay awake if you're tired. I mean, it sounds like a simple thing, right? But a lot of people hit Google for that, and a lot of people hit YouTube for it. So I basically went into just some basic scientifically proven things that you can do to help you stay awake if you need to push through and get some extra work done or study or something like that.
Yeah, I saw. Actually, I did see that some of those videos in the online video marketers group. So
Oh, okay,
that's
okay.
pretty cool.
And me as well.
How to you did one on how to pass gas? Do you remember that?
I haven't done that one yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet.
that would interest Ray because
Next week. I have also watched a number of those videos, and I was wondering what you were doing because all of a sudden you started posting those videos, and I'm like, well, this is kind of a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But-
The whole thing with those is just because I'm having so much fun making them that
Sure.
that it's kind of just kind of pulling me into it.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here because that's a very different sort of direction than most of the things that we talk about on the radio show, because most of the things we talk about are how to rank a video to page 1 for your local plumber and things like that. But there is a whole giant universe of other ways to use YouTube for marketing purposes and for business purposes. And of course, we've all seen the stories of PewDiePie making $10 million or whatever he made and whatnot. But let me ask you this: so how are you monetizing this, or how are you planning on monetizing that?
At the moment, I'm not monetizing it. At the current moment, I'm focusing on growth.
Right.
And once it grows to something that is just something that is decent, as far as audience size, then I'll monetize it with merchandise and with sponsors and that sort of thing. I'm not really worried too much about the actual ads themselves, the actual YouTube ads, as much as I am wanting to go after sponsorships and that sort of thing. That's
Sure, and
kind
I
of the
think
end
that
goal
makes-
for that one.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The ads are great, but you really have to have massive volume before that
Right.
Can really make a difference. But
Right.
even a smaller channel, you focus on the right product, you can make a lot more doing it that way. But it's funny listening to you because it's a very Daryl Eves sort of strategy. So it's kind of interesting to hear all that, and
Yeah.
because he's helped a lot of different groups and a lot of different channels to do the very same types of growth that you're doing. So what kind of growth are you looking to get out of this, and in what time period?
Well, I'm wanting to go as far as I can take it, but like I had hoped that I would have more, just a little bit more traction on it than I have now. I'm about 300 subscribers short of what I had hoped to have at this time. But the first goal, of course, is 1,000, which is just I don't know, probably 2 weeks away. And then from there, of course, 5,000 and then 10,000, and I'll benchmark at every decent number.
Sure. And how are you going about trying to grow the audience?
Right now, back into the arena that you guys are experts in. I'm keywording everything, and I'm making sure that my descriptions are right. I'm thoroughly researching each video to make sure that I'm making something that people are actually looking for. And
Sure.
within the video itself, I'm making sure to to drop keywords throughout the video and that sort of thing as well. I'm also doing just a little bit of experimentation right now, as far as I've ran just a few ads for it and things like that. But until I get to about 1,500 subscribers, I'm just kind of trying to make it as organic as I possibly can at the moment. Just using YouTube search as the main thing, and sharing it in places myself and things like that to help it grow organically at first.
Nice. And so, what's the end goal with this? If you could go into the future 2 years from now, what are you where are you hoping to be at with this?
Well, of course, I mean, I would love to be doing it, full time. That would be the end goal, would be to go full time and to make as much out of it as possible. I mean, with YouTube, the amazing thing about YouTube is the doors that it can open up for you.
Right.
Just the people from my Nick Nimmin channel, just the people that it's allowed me to get in touch with, to where, normally you guys know how it is. Normally, like when you're starting out into a particular market, so to speak, it's harder to get in touch with people that are, years ahead of you in experience, right? But with YouTube, if you put out decent videos and you're doing stuff that can actually help people, it's amazing the doors that it opens for you. So I mean, it would be fantastic if down the road, I could get some type of other type of series, or some type of show or something like that would be fantastic. But I'm fine just keeping it on YouTube too. So either way.
It's amazing the number of TV shows. I'm thinking a lot of the Discovery Network shows that, they found these folks on YouTube doing stuff.
Right. Right.
And that, the producers, they got an idea off that and they approached them and said, we want to do this and that. There's one called Hillbilly Blood. That's on Destination America, and it's about how these two guys that never knew each other before, but they act like they did. They live in Appalachia, and how they're able to just kind of figure, MacGyver everything they do.
Nice.
And they discovered these two guys on YouTube. One guy was doing a survivalist type show, and another guy was, I think they both were doing survivalist type shows and getting good views off of that, quite a few subscribers, and now they got a TV show. So
Yeah,
that's good.
And we've seen a lot of that. There's a few guys that Brian Brushwood is currently has a show on one of the Discovery type networks. So does Andrew Main. Both of those guys were online video producers. So there's a lot of great growth in that, and it's amazing to see how seriously some of these online shows are starting to be taken now. You see guys like Rhett and Link, and they're on other TV shows, and it's just amazing. And we talked a little bit about Daryl Eves, which, by the way, I laughed early because right after this we're doing a webinar with him. But at the recent Vid Summit, they showed one of the speakers, and I wish I could remember who it was off the top of my head, which I don't, but one of the speakers showed a chart of the viewership of the hottest TV shows on TV versus the viewership of some of these YouTube channels. And none of the hottest TV shows even came close to the type of viewership that some of these YouTube channels get.
Wow.
And yet they don't get the respect or the capital that some of these TV shows get. But it's amazing the type of reach you can have. It's as we've said in the marketing area, it's like having your own Super Bowl commercials anytime you want.
Yeah, it is. Ray, I watched an interview that you did with Owen Himsath, and you had mentioned in that interview that when you started going after your local business clients, and like back in the day, saying hey, videos taken off. It's like the internet videos taken off. This is going to be huge. You got to get on board now, like that sort of stuff. I mean, it's definitely true, and it's only going to get bigger. As more people around the world, get on with their phones, and more people around the world get access to the internet. I mean, it's just going to get out of control, especially with Google right now is working on instant translation technology. So like once they get all that stuff lined out to where somebody in the middle of nowhere can watch one of our videos and they can understand what it is that we're saying, and vice versa. I mean, it's just going to get out of control.
Well, and I think the lines are very quickly blurring, much like the lines between radio and podcasting have really blurred. I can really see the world of television starting to really blur with online video, especially when you see things like the new Apple TV that just came out
Yeah.
and Roku and some of those things where you can really start to make a niche for yourself, and the networks are starting to move towards the internet at the same time. So there's a lot of real crossover there, and I see a lot of growth in that. And it's funny because I never took the world, the world that you're stepping into there overly seriously, because it was, to me, it was always about marketing. It was always about, driving sales, using YouTube as a tool. But I'm
Yeah.
really starting to fall in love with that other side, like you have, which is that more entertaining edutainment side, which, I think has a huge growth potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I definitely think so too.
So,
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
yeah,
You
just
can
a quick
jump in there.
question. What are some of the videos you're doing? You gave us the stay awake if tired. What are some of the other topics?
Yeah, I have how to stay awake if you're tired. I have how to fall asleep. As funny as that is, I have how big is the Grand Canyon, to where I went on a vacation back to America because I currently live in Thailand, and I went on a vacation back to America, and I hit the Grand Canyon, so I made a video there on how big the Grand Canyon is because people Google for that. They Google, how big is the Grand Canyon. So I just made a video that is kind of the different things that you could fit into the Grand Canyon, and if you were driving from one end to the other, how far would it get you in different countries, like that sort of thing. I have some facts about Japan in there. I have why do dogs eat poop? That's a fun one. I have
Okay,
how to
I
be.
knew there was one something like that. I think that's the one that I saw.
I have a how to be happy, to where it goes into the science of of exercise and the food that you eat, and things like that. I mean, it's a decent list of videos. I think right now I'm on 24 videos, I believe, for the main topics. But I have who are the richest people in the world? Why do we celebrate Halloween? Um, why do we yawn? Is skydiving safe?
Oh
How
yes,
much
that's the
water?
other one that I was actually quoting that one the other day.
Oh, the skydiving one.
No, the yawning one.
Oh yeah,
Now I'm yawning. That.
Well, that's what's called a contagious yawn.
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, how much water you should drink. Why is the sky blue? Things like that. Basically, like I'd mentioned before, back on the keyword side of things. I hit the Google keyword planner. First, I'll hit YouTube, and I'll start to type in and let the autocomplete fill out, and then I'll take that information, put all of that into a spreadsheet, and then I'll hit the keyword planner, and then I'll start putting all of those in, and then I'll just make videos on the stuff that people search for the most.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a lot of fun. When I started to get more into the entertainment side with some of the tutorials, I actually found that I had a lot more fun with it. And I've thrown around a few different ideas for more entertaining ones, and one of the ones that I've been thinking about was more of a trivia based sort of deal, which I thought would be kind of a fun video channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would.
So, well, still trying to work out how that would work, but I think it could be a lot of fun.
So if it was trivia, you would be on the other end then. So then you would be asking your audience the questions, right?
Something like that, or
Yeah.
it would be, yours are your the stuff you talk about is much more serious, whereas the stuff I would be talking about is much more like random, bizarre facts versus
Oh, okay.
real facts type deal. But yeah, that's what and I was thinking about that from the opposite side. How do you do that? And we've come up with a few different ideas. Some of them are more game show like, but
Oh, nice.
obviously that would take a lot more effort and a lot more time and energy and capital to do. But
Yeah.
could be a lot of fun. Could do a lot of cool things like that. So I think it would be an interesting way to build another type of channel.
Absolutely, it would.
So let me ask you this: when it comes to your production schedules and how you produce this, how are you currently producing these episodes? Do you have a crew? Are you doing it all yourself?
I'm doing it all myself.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why I said earlier that sometimes I'll slack a little bit on my bread and butter, in order
Sure.
to come and make videos, because I'll get an idea to where, like if I was working on a script earlier in the day, and then I'll start designing something, and then an idea will pop in my head, and then the design work will go to the side, and then I'll get the script back out and start trying to elaborate on the idea. So yeah, it's all myself, but it definitely takes time, but the fun that I'm having doing it, it doesn't even matter. You know how it is. I mean, you're doing stuff that you enjoy,
Yeah,
so
and
you know how it is.
it's funny you say that about the kind of dropping things to jump on an idea, because I'm notorious for that as well, actually. So sometimes that might even be lunch. You never know.
Yeah.
So when you say you're shooting these things yourself, how are you managing all that as far as cameras and sound, and are you spending tons of money on cameras and sound? Are you kind of shoestringing it at this point?
I've invested quite a bit into it. But all the gear that I got was initially for the Nick Nimmin channel.
Sure.
With the exception of a Canon D70 or 70D that I just got.
Oh,
With the
nice.
exception of that one, the other camera that I got was for the original channel. And one thing I'll mention too is I said before that I shoot everything myself. When I do the videos, like my on location videos, to where I'm in like Japan or the Grand Canyon or something, my
Yep.
brother's actually on the other side of the camera for that one, holding the camera. But for
Nice.
for gear for the production, I have a Canon XF 100 for that, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
it's a
Okay.
yeah, it's a great camera. I love it. And and I've got an external mic that goes with it, an Audio Technica. What is this thing? I think it's like a AT875R. So it's not a real high end mic, but it sounds decent for what I'm doing. And then the 70D also.
Yeah, because we obviously, doing what we do, we get a lot of people asking about that. Well, what camera should I use? But and the Canon, that's the sorry, I always get these backwards because Nikon does it opposite. The 70D,
Yeah,
was that Nikon always does D whatever, and Canon does
yeah.
number first. But the 70D, um, obviously that is an SLR, digital SLR. How do you like shooting with that particular type of camera?
I enjoy it, and on the channel, on the new channel, I have two different types of videos that I make. I have one that I put out on Mondays. It's called "Did You Know," and with that one, it's basically to where I send facts the other way. Instead of asking the question, I find stuff that people are interested in and then make a facts video about it. All
Nice.
of those videos are shot on the DSLR, and then the other videos to where I elaborate more on stuff, those videos are shot on the XF100. But I love the new camera, the DSLR. I
That's
absolutely love it. I
that
think it's
is one of
great.
the questions I get asked quite a bit from people is, do I get a DSLR? Do I get a traditional video camera? And me, I have not enjoyed the DSLRs very much.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I think it's great. It's smaller. The only thing that I haven't keyed in on it yet, because in my videos I'm like all over the place. I'm moving all over the frame,
Yes,
and
I can
even
see where
with
you're
the
going already.
even with the follow focus that's on the DSLR, it doesn't key in as fast as the
Right.
dedicated video camera does. But on the
Yeah,
flip side, creatively, it's a lot more versatile. So
it
like
is. I
if I'm
agree with
shooting
that.
B-roll, any type of B-roll or something like that, it's a million times more versatile creatively than the dedicated video camera.
No, and on that side of things, I absolutely concur. My problem is trying to do the DSLR and videotape myself. I've shot entire videos, gone back, and the entire thing is completely out of focus, and I had no
Yeah,
idea. So
yeah. Yeah, that's rough. That's actually the reason that I got the 70D, because of that follow focus feature that it has, or,
right,
or whatever it's called. I think it's called a follow focus feature, but
yeah,
to where it basically just follows you around the frame wherever you happen to go. But it's
right.
just not. If I didn't use my hands so much, it would probably be better. But I like to get my hands in the frame also. So it'll bounce back and forth between my hands and my face, and if I set it manually, then if I move, just a little bit too much, or if I get too much into the camera, then it'll start to, lose focus too. So, yes, I still have some learning to do on that one as far as dealing with that focus.
Yeah, I unfortunately for me, my normal video camera kind of died, so
Mm,
I've only got the Canon DSLR now. So it's
mm,
I have to get used to it for the moment, unless I decide to go get another traditional video camera, which I may do. You never know. We'll have to see how it
yeah.
goes. But I'll tell you, and this might shock some of the audience here. When I shoot a lot of my stuff, which is quick review videos and even some of the more edutainment type stuff in front of the green screen,
Hmm.
I've actually started just using my iPhone.
Oh, nice.
And I think people people are always shocked to hear that, because I do have really nice cameras in here that could be used, but I actually find that when I need to shoot a quick video, I can pop it up there. It does the green screen quite well. I don't have to transfer the videos; they transfer wirelessly, and I just jump right into it. So I think people are kind of surprised by that sometimes, but I found that actually works pretty well, especially in a
That's good,
small
and
room.
yeah,
There's
that's good. That's testament to people that they don't have to go out and get the most expensive gear, that they don't have to, have all the fancy equipment in order to make decent videos, because
Yeah.
your stuff looks great.
Oh, thank you. And it's funny because unfortunately in the office that I'm in, I don't think there's enough room to use a camera with a large lens anyway. So just would be shooting a close up of my nose, and if we used one of those. So
Your stuff looks good, though. I got to tell you, it looks really good.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I
Nick,
would have
your
never
stuff
guessed
looks
that you were making that
fantastic.
on
So
a. I would have never guessed that you're making that on an iPhone.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
It looks
and
great.
I don't do a ton of it just because it's usually very short clips and things like that. But and I've tried the iPad as well, and that's actually worked okay. When I did have a smaller video camera, which worked really well, but it started having issues, so we had to
Mm.
phase that boy out. So let me ask you this then: when you're producing one of your videos,
Hmm.
um, what is the traditional time frame for it? So in other words, from the time of I've got the idea, I'm going to get in front of the camera, to shooting, to editing, to getting it up on YouTube. How quickly do you get these things processed?
About 2 days.
Oh
Like,
wow!
and it depends on how fast the script comes together. The script and the editing are the longest parts of making the videos. Like the script, because I try to find as technical information as I can,
Right.
and then I have to convert that information to make it as easily understood as possible, because I don't want to leave anybody out. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure that I understand it myself, and I'm not a very smart guy. so so the actual script writing part usually takes me a day by itself. And then I'll revisit the script on the actual day of recording too. But the script, and by day I don't mean I wake up and I work on the script all day. Say I'll spend
Right.
4 hours, maybe 5 hours or 6 hours, depending on the difficulty of the script. Actually, researching it, and then it'll take me, once I have the data, then I can put the actual script itself together, within an hour. It's just the actual researching it that is the hard part. And then recording the videos. If I'm doing an in studio video, then that video will take me anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to record what I need for it. Because uh, I do a bunch of different takes of each part that I
Right.
say. Just you know how it is. Just so that I can make sure that
Jump
I have
around the
enough stuff to
frame
work
and
with. Yeah, and just so you know that when you sit down at your computer, so you don't have that time to where you're working on the timeline, and then you say, "Oh man, I should have done this that way," and then you have to go back and do it again.
right.
But the editing process is where have the most fun, because uh, that's where you get to really get creative as far as the different graphics you're using and how stuff's going to move around, and that kind of thing. So to actually edit one of them, to edit a fast one, I can do it in about 5 hours. So
Nice.
yeah, so they
So
they take
literally,
time, but it's fun.
yeah, but 2 days you can have a new product up there, and that's always a good thing. So, and
Yeah.
for those listening, you can hear there it's not that difficult if you're willing to put in the time and effort. So,
Yeah, that's pretty much anything, right? if you're willing to put in the time and effort, if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can learn pretty much anything.
Oh, now you tell me. Jeez.
Yeah. So let me ask you: so what has been the most fun question that you've had to research so far?
Well, any travel question is a fantastic question because I love to travel. Because of my visa here in Thailand, I'm forced to go out of the country every 3 months, so I have to go somewhere. Like, I'm actually leaving Sunday to go to the Philippines.
Nice.
But travel videos are a blast because, one, I get to research information for the place that I'm going to, and two, while I'm there, I have to look around for interesting places to shoot it on the fly while I'm basically I have to include it into my vacation, right? So if I'm walking down the street and I see some place that I say, oh, hey, this is part of the script or whatever, so I'll stop in front of a vending machine or whatever to make the reference of that. So the travel videos are definitely the most entertaining to make.
Very cool. Well, there you go, folks. If you're ever thinking about doing your own YouTube channel and not direct marketing, but to actually do it for fun, here you go. Here is the guy to speak to because he's getting it going. This is good, fun stuff. And for those of you who have not seen his channel, it's All Our Questions, ALLOUR questions, and he's got all sorts of fun stuff on there. And of course, Nick Nimmin. If you look that up on YouTube, you can get some of his marketing and YouTube tips as well. So lots of good stuff there. So Nick, thank you for jumping in here and talking to us about all of this because, like I said, it's an area that I've been looking more into because it's not something that I've been into the past, really. So it's exciting to kind of see some of that stuff. Is there anything else that people should know about getting into this before they jump in?
Yeah, there is actually. It's a decent amount of work. You have to be you have to make sure that you enjoy it because there is a lot of work involved. I'll have people leave comments or send me messages that say, well, I've just got a couple of hours a day and I want to make a video or how do you stay motivated to make 3 videos a week or whatever. And my answer is always, if you want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it. So you just have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to really, really want to do it in order to make it happen.
That's the key.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we love the fact that you're doing this, and like I said, I've enjoyed some of these videos already. And by the way, love the thumbnails, and I don't think that can be overstated. So,
thank you.
And obviously you're a graphic designer, so you get that in the first place. You already get that, but brilliant job with those. Very nicely done. I like that you've done sort of similar but different thumbnails for your different types of topics and whatnot. So it's just a great job. So check that out. All Our Questions, and you can see Nick's great stuff that he has on there. So Nick, we appreciate you coming on today.
And thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And by the way, if anyone wants to talk to Nick, if you're on our video groups, the online video marketers group, he is in there quite a bit. So you'll certainly hear from him and you'll be able to ask questions of him as well, I'm sure. And
absolutely.
He'll be glad to answer that at some point in time. So there you go. Again, thanks for joining us today. And with that, I think we've hit it on another week of Video Marketing Madness.
Yeah, it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. Today's show made possible by
Aweber, the easy way to do email marketing. If you want to start doing email marketing today, head on over to raythevideoguy.com/Aweber. You can even get a trial start for only $1.
Yeah, it's a great system. Got a question for Ray the Video Guy? Go to raythevideoguy.com/ask, A-S-K. Leave your question. If Ray answers it on Periscope, he tries to do that daily, or here on the radio show, which he normally does weekly, and we'll get back to that next week. Anyhow, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff. Facebook page is Video Marketing Madness. Twitter is Video MKT Madness. And let's wrap it up with the jingle.
All right.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.